What is shaking, everybody? It is cold. It is a cold day. Very cold day. First real cold day of the year, I guess. But we got scraper hooked on, as y'all can see. This is actually the same tractor that had the track closer on it. I'm gonna leave everything hooked up because I'm pretty sure I need to grease that. I'm gonna go change the oil on this tractor. Nothing special. We got her nosed in, got the wheels cranked so I can get to everything. I can't pull all the way in, as y'all can see. Fun, isn't it? Well, it isn't exactly the best setup, but it does work. I changed the oil in the Magnum, well, I guess Friday, Thursday or Friday. And we're starting with this one this week. I spent all morning after I fed cattle working on feed truck. Finally got that fixed. The blower wasn't working, wiring issue, got that taken care of. And then we had the motor that powers the sprockets and whatever that power your unload auger, your unload spouts. It got off kilter. Sprocket slid down the shaft, key about come out. Chain was real loose, everything else, got that taken care of. And changing oil in these tractors is really easy. I'm actually fairly impressed. I'll kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. So you can see I kind of made a mess last week. But up in that hole, you see the drain plug. Runs out in that 5-gallon bucket. And you got to kind of chase that bucket through there to kind of chase that oil. Which is what I didn't do to cause that mess. And run over here to the other side. And we'll change that oil filter right there. Nice and easy. I'll change the oil. The other filters they do at Titan Machinery, which is the Case International dealer around here. So they'll do the other filters, the other big stuff like that. I will change the oil and I will grease everything that I can find. I'm going to grease that scraper back there. Everything looked pretty dry on it. It looks fairly new actually, so we'll see. Then I got to go get the loader because I had to replace 2 hydraulic lines on that last week, which is a nightmare of a story. They're not hard to replace, it was just getting them that was a problem. Replaced 2 on a disc that I was pulling. And yeah, I've had my fill of hydraulic fluid, but I got to pull that front end loader over here and top off the hydraulic fluid on it because it finally kind of bled down. So we'll do that, and by the time we're done with all that, it should be about time to feed. Nice and easy. That little plug there was it was bad. It was not fun to get out. I actually had to hammer a socket on there to be able to get it because the right side socket is starting to round everything off. I keep telling myself I'm gonna give me some rubber gloves. When I was doing this on trucks, that's what I had. Works out great, keeps oil off your hands. This isn't always the funnest thing to clean up. But, I never think to grab any. So, I'm stuck getting dirty. Dirty. The guy really learns to hate these fenders. Oh, goodness. There we go. Open the hood up so we can see a little bit better what I'm after. I got the new filter. Got it filled with oil. Got everything lubed up on there. We're going to screw right on to the filter housing. Then I'm gonna put the drain plug back in once I think it's done dripping, and we'll top everything off with oil, run it for a little bit, check the oil, and go from there. All right, got the filter on. This is a drain plug. You see how buggered up that is? Yeah, there we go. So like I said, the size socket that normally use fit on there good, and then I just rounded the bugger off. So after looking around a little bit, ended up putting a slightly smaller socket on there. Not exactly the next size down. We went to the different system. We made it work. Pounded it on there, got it off, but I need to get one of these from Titan next time I go there, which I don't know when that's going to be, but at any rate, I can get this back on. We're not going to be doing any tillage or planting or anything else for any time soon. I'm going to be using this probably just to clean the pens, level them out, so not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. So we'll put this in and top it off with oil, and then we'll, like I say, we'll run it for a little bit, check the oil, and then we'll head over and start greasing. See how that goes. Alrighty, we are all oiled and greased all the way across. I got that scraper greased up too. There was a couple of spots that needed a little bit on there. The rest of it was pretty good. So right now, fire this bad boy up. Then we'll go drop it over where we picked it up at and go over and get the loader. Nice and easy. Not even driving a little tractor around like this just to park, it's always fun. The regular tractor driving for the year is all but done, except for scraping the pen or two and moving snow when we get to it. So it's always nice. Now let's go get the loader. You know, it's not as bad here as it was earlier this morning. It was miserable this morning. Loader about didn't want to start. Feed truck struggled a little bit. Feed truck was plugged in. I don't know why the loader wasn't plugged in, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. With the sun out, no real wind out here right now. It ain't too bad. There we go. The lift arm hose right here, the big one you see. Yeah, right down there, sorry. That one blew out right at that fitting there. I have another one off to the side that goes down to the bucket release. Both of them blew out. Had a fight with one of the cat dealers we usually deal with to try to get hoses, so we went to called a different one. It took 5 minutes. I don't know what the malfunction was, but it is what it is. And it's not so bad to replace them. It was a pain to get them. Wasn't so bad to replace them, but my word. This big one right here for the lift arm, it was on there so gosh darn tight. Wow. It was on there really, really, really tight. And it's right there by the glass. I fought, and finally got to where I get the wrench and a good enough location where I can hit it with the hammer, and finally broke the bugger free. Oh well. Well, we topped everything off with hydraulic fluid. And then I think kind of like a car, you replace something in the cooling system with the water. Everything's going to be good. You can bleed it down as much as you want, but you're still going to lose some coolant going down the road because everything's going to burp and whatnot. I don't know if it's the same case with hydraulics, but that's what I'm guessing because we got no leaks on here. So we'll top the hydraulic fluid off, see what everything's doing with it. And then I think since I got a little bit of extra time here, I'm probably going to try to grease everything because I sprayed everything off with the pressure washer, and all the zerk points and everything else are pretty in the open. So might as well hit that while I got everything clean instead of waiting till I change the oil, which probably won't be till towards the end of this week. So didn't really want to because I don't have my nice battery power grease gun here, but I might as well. Figure while I'm fueling, maybe I'll show you guys the grease points on this. So once you wash it, they're really easy to find. Right here. Don't get much easier than that. Oh, I need to get the oil change in this thing, but I don't know. I'm going to wait towards the end of the week to do it. We'll kind of see how everything works out from there. And I might do it tomorrow. We'll see. But our two main tractors, I got the oil changed in now, got them greased. And we got, one, two, three, at least three others I got to do, plus this loader. And a little feed truck that's hiding over there. I think I probably better change the oil in that. I really don't need change that often in that feed truck. I mean, for what it's used for. Keep everything greased, make sure the oil levels up. It does go through some oil. The blow-by tube comes out just above the starter, so we have a bunch of oil that flies on the starter out of that. I shouldn't say a bunch, but a little bit of oil. It ruined the starter last week, so I had to do that. I'm gonna have to go find me a hose to put over that blow-by tube like we do on the semis, but I haven't found one that would work yet. But I'll keep looking. I'll keep looking. And we'll see what else the rest of the day holds. It's a little early to start feeding, in my opinion, but ain't quite enough time to change oil and feed and get out of here when he wants me out of here. So we'll see. We're in. It's still cold today, but the afternoon's not going to be as bad. I'm going to start off, since I'm in the loader. Those grease points that I showed you guys are not the only grease points on this thing. I just didn't want to complain about that. There are other grease points. But those main points are nice and easy to get covered up a lot with the feed, so whatever. But the bigger bit of business is, I talked about that repair on that feed truck yesterday. Well, what we did is on that unload spout, there's a couple of augers. Underneath that, there's a motor that turns a couple of sprockets and chains, gears, whatever. Well, one of the main ones slides back. Well, all those sprockets, they have bolts on the back of them. Or not sprockets, all those shafts got bolts on the back of them with washers to kind of keep those sprockets in place. Now, in an ideal world, your set screw that goes in there, the hooks that screws onto that key, keeps everything tight. In an ideal world, that would hold everything together. With this old thing, not the case. So, they have threaded little holes in the back of those shafts. You can put the bolts in, washers, holds everything in so it doesn't slide back and hit the frame. It's not a detrimental deal. The shaft's not going to, sprocket's not going to fall off or anything like that, but it rubs up against that frame rail. It's loud. It's not right. So I put everything in, wrenched on that set screw, hoped that would work, and it didn't. They got a bolt since that motor that was in there. One of the bolts come loose or wasn't tightened up in the first place when it was repaired. I don't know. But let that chain get loose, and the vibration caused that one bolt to break off, shear off inside. And you can't really get to the back side of that shaft. And I'll show you guys exactly kind of what I'm talking about here once I get done feeding. But I don't know what we're going to do. We come up with a couple of different ideas. Trying to get a hose clamp on there, wrenching it down, which would do the job if there's enough room for it. And that, you know, that obviously wouldn't be a long-term fix, but would get us through to at least warmer weather, I would think. Another option was take a bolt, shorter bolt, weld the head onto the shaft, and then thread on a nut and some washers on the other side of that. The problem being that there is not a lot of room behind that shaft and not a lot of room between the frame rail to get in there with a welder. Now if I could get it into the shop to where I got the MIG welder, it wouldn't be a huge deal. But this feed truck, I do not think will fit through that door in the shop. So a MIG welder is pretty much useless. We do have an arc welder that's sitting in the one of the sheds. It's a gas power deal, no big deal. I mean, we can take that over there and try that. It's just not as easy to get a good weld or a good tack weld with an arc welder on something as small as that and in those tight of conditions. But I don't know. We'll see. We're trying to exhaust every option we can before we have to tear that whole assembly apart, which is going to be a pain in the neck, and you have to have this to feed, obviously. And that's the main thing right now, is you got to be able to feed the moose. So I don't know, that and it's cold. We don't have a regular shop to get into. The little shop he's got there's an old garage, and it's got tools and stuff in it, it's got our fluids in it, and it works. But you can't really get this stuff into anything. The loader and this feed truck going to the shed, it's got the overheads in it. I don't know, he's talking about building a shop out here, tearing down some bins and doing it, but we'll see when that happens. It's never going to be an instant deal. It's going to take some time, and it could be 3-4 years before anything like that gets done. So, but I think I'm going to finish feeding, and we'll see what we think we're going to do. All right, just got done with the last pin, got this thing pulled back in the overhead. And I'll show you guys kind of what I'm talking about with these gears. Get down here. You can see kind of what I'm looking at. Over here is where the motor is. And this is the chain that was loose because the motor cocked up and loosened this whole thing up, which in turn caused this gear to slide up off this shaft. You can see where it's, well, maybe kind of see where it's rubbing against the frame rail there. So what I got to do is I got to get this gear, go back down on that shaft, get the key to slide back down in there, and then I'm going to have to try to figure out what on earth I'm going to do to hold that. But as you can see, hopefully I'll have enough room to put a hose clamp on there. If not, I got to figure out a way to weld it. We'll figure it out. But we'll back up a little bit here. You see that whole assembly will have to come off if I'm going to fix that whole thing, and I really don't want to take that apart. At least not yet. Okay. I have gotten this deal pushed up, got the hose clamp on it. I'll show you guys what I did. Now, we get under here. I guess you can't really see it, but push that back on that shaft. And on the other end there, over here, Part of the shaft sticks out and I'm able to put that hose clamp on it, so we'll see if that works. Well, now that that's done, we're gonna mess with this heater again. We're gonna see if we can't get that blower to work. I'm not sure what the malfunction is with it. I don't know what I did last night to make it work, or yesterday afternoon, but it worked and now it don't work. So, I don't know. In other news, we had a tank that overflowed, so I had to go figure that out. I'm not sure why that screw come loose, but got that done. If it gets a little warmer this week, I'll go out and clean those stock tanks too. But as of right now, we're gonna mess with this, get it done, and then probably go fire the tractors up. And we got fuel getting blended off now, so we'll go put some winter fuel in them, and that way they're good to go. We'll see. Well, we got it. Don't know how long it's gonna last, but we got it. The wires going into the blower motor are a little bit finicky, I guess. Probably needs to be rewired, but we're not going to bother with that yet because I don't feel like packing wires. So, at the very least, I shouldn't freeze tonight. Okay. Finally got the disc hooked up. We had to hook a chain onto the 3-point. To raise that up. The way the hitch is designed on there, it don't really work with what we got. So usually you can get it to kind of cam over a little bit so you can get that stuff to line up. This time couldn't. So I throw a little bitty chain on there, put it on 3-point, and it gets to the right height so you're able to hook it up under the hitch, put the pin in there. Works out great. But I got my sandwiches ate that my lovely wife made me for dinner. Now I'm going to go put winter blend fuel in these tractors so that they don't freeze up so bad in the winter. So we'll see how this ends up going. Shouldn't be too bad, just take a little bit of time. Alright, we got that old boy fueled. Now we're going to do the one we were in yesterday. Bloody will warm up just a little bit. She's a cold starting bugger, so hopefully this fuel will help a little. We'll top this one off, and then I think that little International, I don't know if you guys got to see it or not. We'll top fuel off on it. And then we got another one back there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that old boy or not. Probably should be able to. I don't have a clue. But I think all these are pretty low on fuel. Then we got one up ahead by the distillers. It's got the hay bale unroller on it. Imagine I probably better put something in there so the fuel's treated at least. I don't think we use that one a whole lot, but you don't want it to not start when you need it. Alright, we just got finished feeding the moose for the day. We're getting ready to put the loader in the feed truck back. Well, like I said, the hose clamp deal, it worked. Hasn't come off yet, that's good. The not so good thing is I found out that the other feed auger, because there's two of them in that chute, the other one's got a bad bearing. Now, I didn't really look at that too much because, well, the boss man just had all that replaced. So that's fun. I'm not sure if he can call the guys that did it and get another bearing in and I can put the bearing in, or if it's going to be a case where they're going to come mess with it. I don't know. Either way, we got to have a feed truck, so we're going to keep using it, keep shoving grease in there, and hope we don't waste the shaft. But I mean, even if we do, hopefully they warranty their work. But we'll see. But at any rate, guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get the stuff put away. I'm going to head home, and I'll come at you another time. Thanks for watching.